Hey, what's up YouTube? BOTCG here, and we're going to do a little short and sweet coverage on the overcharge deck. I think people are giving this, it's a good deck. I feel like it's a deck that can do very well in a tournament structure, but won't have the easiest time of winning the tournament itself, if you guys understand what I'm getting at. But I think the way people are playing this deck is a little bit of an injustice to what this strategy actually wants to pull off and do. So we're going to go over that a little bit in the profile. We are running some really cool tech cards that I have not seen, at least from the list that I've seen from VG Paradox and Dexander. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. This guy's name is super hard to say, so if you cannot pronounce Al-Cebra, that's probably the wrong way to say it anyways. Don't feel bad, we call him Algebra Dragon now. So yeah, 3 copies of Persona Ride. This deck still does want to Persona Ride, even though you can get your numbers really big. At least the restanders do reward you for Persona Riding. Like if you do the combo correctly, you could get the restanders on a Persona Ride turn to 30 to 35 by themselves. 4 copies of the in archetype order card. We kind of built the deck around this card just because I think this card, a lot of people are running this at like 2, 1, 3, but I didn't really see that many lists maxing out on it. At least I did see a few in the beginning, and then like at least from the JP list on Dexander and VG Paradox, and then they just kind of slowly started to cut it down. I built the entire deck around this because I think this is a really good card. Like CB1 Special 2 in archetype cards, yeah, they have to be different names, but like you want to run as many in archetype cards as possible regardless. So yeah, we just kind of like built a whole little non-engine order package around this normal order. So 4 copies of the restander, 4 copies of your draw / soul charge card, or in archetype draw / soul charge card, 4 copies of the countercharger, and then for our last overcharge cards, initially I was running 12. That did feel like a little bit too low. This is the general overcharge package that I've seen most deck lists run. I did cut some cards from my original deck list that I did perform with at locals. I cut 1 card to play 1 of the overcharge grade 3, and I'm playing 1 more main deck of the Ride Line overcharge grade 1, just because the way that I play this deck is I want to discard these overcharge cards for Ride or guard with them, so I can get value off of the order card and just resurrect them from the drop zone. So essentially he just adds an additional name. Same with the grade 3. Plus he could sometimes I found myself with like that extra energy. He could use that extra energy, but more often than not, I'm a firm believer of you feed your beast, which is your restander. So you want to leave almost all your energy to your restander. I play my my Blangmeyer deck the exact same way. Your beast is the grade 2 that gains a crit, so the only card that uses energy in my Blangmeyer deck is the grade 2 that gains a crit, because that's how you're winning the game. Same thing, same logic with the restander here. Alright, for the non-engine of the deck, we're playing, let's put that there, we're playing 4 copies of Latifah and 4 copies of Shenri. The logic here is Shenri works really well with this deck if I want to be playing the grade 3 order every turn, because I don't have to, my opponent doesn't have to have 1 or less rear guards. This is very easy to proc in the early stages of the game, because most of the time your opponent, especially if you go first, won't commit 2 rear guards. So this is very easy, free soul charge and cycle in the early stages of the game, but also works really well with the inherent strategy in feeding your Soul Blast 2 for your Al-Celibra's Soul Blast 2 ability. The reason we're running Latifah, which seems like a little bit of a non-bow here, is that it lets you shuffle the deck, and I feel like especially with the Ride Line, since you look at top 3 and then the rest go to bottom, you'll never see those cards again, especially if they're triggers. Latifah helps shuffle the deck. I feel like it's weird, but in Vanguard I feel like it's very important for you to have the ability to shuffle the deck, and Latifah helps facilitate that. Not only that, she helps you see your key pieces, because outside of Latifah, you have no way of searching through your deck outside of just hard drawing or soul charging key pieces that you want to resurrect from the drop zone or you want to have on your board itself. And Latifah facilitates that. If you played an order a turn, which you generally do want to play an order a turn, she lets you check top 5 for any unit card or order card. Really good. Helps me see my restander. It boosts my consistency in my restander. Boosts consistency seeing my draw / soul charge card, your counter charger. She's just like a really good bridge between the engine and non-engine of this deck, in my personal opinion. 3 DPGs. This can be either Elementaria you want. I'm just playing this one for now just because it was one that I had like disposable. And I am still playing one Defensing Roar. The Defensing Roar I find is really good, especially since I've changed my initial trigger lineup of this deck. I was running draws, and I feel like the theory on running draws is sound, because you already have such large rearguard columns that a front isn't going to do you that much good. But I found while playing this deck that I just didn't have as much shield as I was comfortable with, at least naturally. So I added back the fronts, like spoiling the trigger lineup a little bit here, but I did add back the fronts. And like this, adding a front back to hand is like low-key broken in my opinion. I did in a game have a chance to guard with the over trigger and this and put the over trigger back in my hand, and that felt really good too. One felt like a good enough copy. There was one time to whereas I had these two clogged in my hand, but it wasn't like a huge issue to whereas, oh man, I'm gonna lose the game because of this, in my personal opinion. 1 Dragon Empire OT. There's no real synergies with Dragon Empire OT here. It's just good. Your Vanguard's generally the weakest attack. So sometimes you can catch your opponent to whereas they don't want to perfect guard your Vanguard, and that's the exact position you want to put them in, especially since you're running fronts now, to whereas you can punish them for not perfect guarding your Vanguard, which your Vanguard could still get pretty big, but it's generally going to be the weakest attack. 3 effect fronts, nothing much to say here. 4 into soul crits. This could come up since you're so reliant on that Soul Blast too. Like I said, Latifah is a little bit of a non-bow, but you just kind of use her if you have to use her, or use her to deck thin to push, to like compress the deck if you need to. And just like having those extra ways of feeding your soul so that you can consistently get your Soul Blast 2 ability to pump 3 of your overcharge units is very key in the way at least I play this deck. 4 vanilla criticals and 4 vanilla heals. Again, nothing much to say here, guys. A little short and sweet deck profile of my Al-Cebra deck, or Algebra Dragon. Yeah, I really did like the way that this deck played. Personal favorite of mine, shocker, it's a dragon. Besides Overlord, I'm just like a really big fan, at least lately, I've been a really big fan of dragon decks. Sue me, I'm a sucker for them. But yeah, I think this deck is a really solid deck, especially for locals, if you just want to top consistently. But I wouldn't, especially, like, even with the way that I built it, it still feels like it's missing, like, that one push, that one edge, that, like, one hint of, damn, I really wish they weren't able to do that, to like push it over the edge to whereas I could say like, wow, like Al-Cebra like getting first place isn't like a super shocker. Seeing it in like top 8, top 16 isn't a shocker, but for me personally, seeing it in like first would be a shocker. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Again, a little short and sweet deck profile here. You're probably going to see more deck profiles like this in the future. I've been cooking really hard with the set 4 decks. There's just really cool out-of-the-box things. Like, I've been working on a really cool, believe it or not, pure Alden list. And I haven't had the chance to test that yet, but you guys are going to see that very soon. Later.